Hello everybody, my name is Carlos and welcome to Train by Tex. Today we have a very interesting vehicle and I'm sure you guys have ran into similar situations like I'm about to explain. Customer was driving the vehicle on the highway when the vehicle stalled. He was able to get it restarted and drove it home. The next morning he went to turn it over and the vehicle would not run. It will crank but it wouldn't run. He happened to have a code reader handy. He plugged it in, but he never told us what the code was. He just told us that the code reader told him to replace the engine oil sensor. And he did. Vehicle did not start after that again. He also told us the code reader told him again to replace the crankshaft positioning sensor. And he did. But the vehicle still did not start. On the third try, he told us that the scanner now tells him to replace the throttle body actuator. So that's when he finally said, he's going to bring it to us. So he brought it to us, and I ran a scan on it, and I retrieved the codes, and I retrieved a P0122, which is your TPS/APP circuit. Retrieve a P0522 engine oil pressure sensor circuit, and a P0335 crankshaft positioning sensor circuit. Now, all three codes are very familiar because all three of them have a circuit fault. Now, what are the chances of all three sensors going bad? Very unlikely. I thought about it for a minute after looking at the codes, and I'm like, this has got to be an issue with the circuit itself, like the 5-volt reference. Basically what first thing that came to mind. So let's go look into the wiring diagram and verify my suspicion that we have a problem with the 5-volt reference. Alright guys, thank you for hanging in there with me. As you can see here, here's the codes I've retrieved. TPS, APP circuit load, engine oil pressure sensor circuit, and the crankshaft positioning sensor circuit. Now this last code right here, just ignore that. That one was self-produced during testing. But again, on the codes right here, these three codes right here, what I have suspicion on is their circuit code. So I believe they all have an issue with the 5-volt reference. I'm assuming that's what they have in common. So let's go ahead and look at the wiring diagram here. Now I went ahead and highlighted the circuit that I want to concentrate on, and like I said, I want to look into the 5-volt reference. And as you can see down here, I went ahead and highlighted, and that circuit runs into the crankshaft positioning sensor. Let's continue and follow it. And right here we have one that runs into the oil pressure sensor. Now we have two other legs that we need to follow, see where they go. There you go. One goes to the throttle body, which is your 5-volt supply for the TPS. And last but not least, we have the accelerator pedal positioning sensor. Now here's what I find interesting. We had three codes, but all three were for the TPS, the throttle positioning sensor, the crankshaft positioning sensor, and the engine oil pressure sensor. And not one time did I see a code that is related to the accelerator pedal. But let's continue on. I just found that interesting that I didn't get a code for that having an issue with a 5-volt reference, since they all share it. Alright guys, let's continue. I'm going to go to the vehicle and do some testing, and I'll show you what I find.
Throttle position sensor connector.
All right. Yeah. No. There you go. Come back and move it.
Alright Alright guys, I don't know if you guys can see this, but as we were checking for the 5-volt reference loss from the TPS throttle positioning sensor, the oil pressure sensor, and the crankshaft sensor, that wire behind the starter is where the problem is. Your main concern is right there. It's rubbing against the block, shorting it out. Alright guys, here we have the a little bit of better picture of what we have going on with this vehicle. Let's zoom in here, and that way I can show you a little better what's going on here. Here we got the starter motor, and you can see here the pink and yellow, which is your 5-volt reference wire. And you can see here where some of the weather shielding is deteriorating all around this area, between the pink and yellow and this blue wire here. Since I couldn't see a very clear picture of it, I went ahead and removed the starter to get better access, and voila, this is what we find. I mean, right there is where it's shorting out, and right in this area too. Let me show you a picture of that. The weather shielding right here is practically gone, so we're gonna have to go ahead and pull the harness out and best we can and repair it best we can. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this right now, and hopefully this to take care of our issues and the vehicle starts right up. Thank you for holding on in there, guys. Alright guys, so after fixing the harness, now the vehicle is ready to start. Well, just started right up. Can't complain. Alright guys, thank you. If you guys have any comments, any suggestions, or any ideas, please leave a comment down below. Y'all have a great day.
Ana María Madea y Rosalía no me quiere. Me he dado cuenta de que estaba enamorado y el amor que me ha jurado mi corazón no lo tiene.